Hi guys, it's Isa. Today we're gonna see some whimsical fantasy books perfect for cozying up and just to be transported. All of these book recommendations have this fairy tale vibe to it, so let's get to it. Starting with young adult, we have Six Crimson Cranes. It's an Asian-inspired story. It's honestly plot-driven, described by Jessie May as being almost a Disney story, and I completely agree with that description. It's so cozy, it's cute, it has these different points that make you reflect at the same time, and it's a pretty fast read. We will follow our main girl, which has a secret. She has a little bit of magic, and one day she loses control over that magic, and as a result, she and her brothers get cursed. All of her brothers are turned into cranes, and for every word she speaks, one of her brothers might die. So all of the siblings are banished from the empire, and our girl will need to start this quest of ensuring that her brothers might turn back into human, but also fighting this terrible evil that it's now in the castle. It has a dragon, it has these prince in the mountains, and overall it's very cozy. Continuing with the Asian-inspired settings, we have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. It's a story that it's so whimsical. It has a very lush environment. It's pretty plot-driven and again, very short. I read it almost in a day. It was that fast. It has a lot of dialogue and we will follow this girl that sacrificed herself to the sea because the sea dragon, it's mad to her people. And because of that, this dragon is kind of like punishing her village. There's terrible sea storms, people is dying, and she's like,
Okay, well, let's ensure that this dragon is chilled and let's sacrifice myself because the dragon is missing a bride.
And so she is sure that she will die, but she doesn't. And when she gets into this bottom of the sea, then kind of like a new world opens. It's not a story that it's within the sea, it's not under the sea. There's the upside down, beautiful upside down. And when she gets there, she is kind of like linked to this dragon, and from that point she will need to save the dragon, recover her soul, and above all break the curse that it's falling on her people. We get away from the Asian setting, but we remain with a world that is completely magical, which is Caraval. This is a trilogy, it's already finished, and it starts with a game. It's almost kind of like a quest finding stuff, but it has such an incredible world building. It's honestly beautiful. Also, it has these feisty main characters, a slow burn, romances. It's fantastic. Honestly, I really loved this trilogy. We will follow two sisters. They have a hard life.
Let's be honest.
And when the opportunity of joining Caraval, this magical game that comes every now and then, arises, they do not hesitate and get there. However, upon arriving, one of these sisters is kidnapped and the other one will need to follow these different clues in order to find the sister and avoid she dying and for her winning. This is kind of like the beginning because book 2, book 3 are slightly different but really still wholesome. Right, and now we move to adult fantasy and we will start with A Kingdom of Back. This is a story that it's not as summary, but it is really into the fairy tale. It is actually based on a real story and it follows Nannerl Mozart, so the sister of Amadeus Mozart. She was also very talented, and this is a grown-up story where we will follow her and Mozart as they grow up and as they will need to just parade city after city for Mozart to play. And so in real life, when all of this happened, they created together this imaginary world called Kingdom of Back, which served as an inspiration for the author to create this story. Nannerl and Mozart will go to this Kingdom of Back. Every now and then they will meet this almost fairy, and the story unfolds from there. It's not necessarily a happy read, it's cozy in a way that makes you feel stuff, keeping a little bit the dark theme but in a very whimsical, setting, we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is a new release from last year, and for me it wasn't as fantastic as House in the Cerulean Sea, but I acknowledge this might be a me thing, because really looking back to this story, it has such a very good elements, and just be mindful that the expectations are not the same, but this will follow this character that has just died. And instead of just going away, we have this reaper that delivers this soul to this house, this tea shop that is in the outskirts of this very whimsical town and in this forest, and that's kind of like the moment of passage. So our main character will need to deal with his stuff before passing, but in that moment he will meet these people, and you know, this story kind of like unfolds from there. It's funny, it's queer, it talks about hard stuff, but what I cannot deny is that these fireflies going around in the night as they see this cabin in the forest was really charming. Then we continue with a book that I absolutely adore, and I think it's pure magic, and that is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. An extra short story, and it talks about this misfit that lives in this small town. He is in love with this very mean girl who one day just sets him on this quest of retrieving Stardust. But along the way in that quest, he will find love, he will find himself, pirates, fights, there's witches, tournaments. It's really a world of wonder. And we conclude this recommendation with Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is a new release of this year, and it's absolutely stunning. Not just the book cover, which of course as well, but the story. It's a very good blend, in my opinion, between a character and a plot-driven story. We will follow our main character through different stages of her life, so that's kind of like the depth of the character, but there's a lot of stuff happen at the same time. That's the blend. And our character has a little bit of a secret. She is the secret daughter of the moon goddess who is trapped in the moon, and one day this daughter kind of like releases magic and she needs to flee the moon, and slowly but surely she gains a place within this empire. It's an Asian inspired story that really it's very, very beautiful. It has a little bit of a love triangle, it's almost a warrior path, it's understanding your power, and I thought it was almost perfect. There's one thing though, which is that when things happen, sometimes it's like I need to go there and then instant the characters are there, you know, which but really I thought it was really descriptive, the different aspects, you know, there's different dragons in this quest, there's this heaven palace, there's a lot of celestial creatures, so very magical. And yeah, that was it for today. Let me know down below what are some fairy tale, whimsical fantasy books that you love. Share with people. I publish bookish content every Tuesday and Friday for you to enjoy, so if you want to stay tuned, click that subscription button, and I hope to see you soon in other videos. Bye!